Alan, two reels.
Yep.
Two very different price points.
One extreme to other. And this is actually a follow-on to a video we did a little while ago about price of rods. As in, what's the difference between a deer reel and a cheaper reel? And like, we've just been testing them, and I've been saying to you, what do you think to that one compared to that one before we came on air? And just doing a wind test and stuff like that, it's very, very hard to see where the difference is, isn't it, on the reel?
Yeah, so here we've got the Daiwa Ninja reel on the
I think it is a
right-hand
little
side.
bit easier to see in a rod or a pole, because when you pick them up, especially when you get to longer lengths on poles,
Yeah.
you can see the difference between a 500 quid pole to a £1,000
Yes,
pole.
put the 16 metre section on.
And then you put the 16 metre section
Yeah.
on, and then obviously again the completely changed.
That's exactly how I've always found it. Yeah, exactly.
It's like black and white, chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Definitely. And I will
But
say
how
this-
do you do it with reels? What can you physically say about the reels when you pick them up in shop and wind them?
The only thing I could notice, tell me what you thought, but when I did it, the tournament one, which you've got there,
Yeah,
which is
that's a 300 quid reel, isn't it?
that's 300 quid. There's less wobble in the handle than the cheaper. How much is a Ninja?
£59.99.
£59.99. It's a little bit less wobble in the handle.
But
and
when you looked at him, you said, I like the look of the Ninja
I
better.
think
Cosmetically,
cosmetically-
you like the Ninja it better.
well, look at the red on it. It looks absolutely stunning. Cosmetically, I think the Ninja does look.
That looks to me a bit plain Jane.
Yeah. That one's got a long dress on, and the Ninja's got a mini skirt on.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
that's why you went for Ninja.
But no, in terms of what I thought, it was a little bit less wobble in the handle on the tournament, and the drag. Once you start turning the drag, there's a world of difference, isn't there?
Yeah, on your drag, and people say, what is the difference? Now, I think, as I said on my video before, there isn't much difference in rods when it comes to pricing, and a rod at 100 quid to a rod at 400 quid. 90% of the time these days when we're fishing with rods, the feeder rods, so it's on a rod rest, so you can't tell much difference, and a rod at 100 quid or 50 quid will basically chuck the same distance as a rod at 400 quid. But with reels, the difference is when you come to the drags, with the gearing and the drag system. Now you just do little click, look at that was half a click, that.
Yeah.
Quarter of a click basically.
And it's the smoothness in it as well.
Yeah, you'll go
Smoothness.
back another quarter, look at that.
Yeah, you'll probably hear that as well, folks. Show us a Ninja. Show us a Ninja as a comparison.
So when you pick the Ninja up, now don't get me wrong, this is probably the best value reel on the market. They do these in three basically different sizes. So there's one a 2508, there's one which is a 3012, and then there's one which is a 4012.
I thought we were going to get a cup of tea then. We're not. Oh no.
Right, I just overheard you on reels.
Yeah, we're just doing some filming.
And I couldn't. One of the things you're not taking into account is with the cheaper reels, it's the tolerance that they work to in the manufacturing.
Mate, we ain't got to that bit yet.
Oh, aren't you?
No.
Right.
And we're just talking the difference between a 60 quid reel and a 300 quid
I
reel.
know.
But we haven't got into that bit yet.
All right.
That's what we were just getting into with gearing and drags.
Yeah. It's the tolerance and you want to look at the material.
Yeah, the gearing and the inside
The
them.
material you use, 'cause
What you can't
that's
see,
the
but you
that's
can't
the-
see it.
No.
With a pole, you
No.
can.
No.
Because you can feel it.
Yeah.
In a reel, you can't.
That's why
until you buy one.
That's why you know when they're buying these
Yeah, I know,
reels,
I know.
when they're winding in with big feeders,
Yeah.
they're good. It's because the gears are good.
Yeah,
The
because
reels
gears-
are expensive. They don't go on because the
No.
material and the tolerance is a lot.
So he's saying that the quality of the reel, for example, the tournament, what he's saying is, it might last you 5 years. That might last you 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. with you.
Definitely. Just because of the gearing in it.
Yeah.
But we hadn't got to that stage on it yet. But that is one of the main reasons, is the things that you can't see which are inside. Now, as I say, when you wind them, they both wind identical.
Yeah.
You can't tell any difference, but you'll get out on the bank
Yeah.
and hook a fish.
Yeah.
When you can get, like Hallcroft for instance,
Yeah.
you can go to Hallcroft and hook a £10 carp and you'll get it in all day with that.
Yeah.
And just for argument's sake, it might take you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
because when you're winding it with that one, the gearing isn't quite as strong as the gearing what's in the tournament. So sometimes you have to do a bit more pumping, or what we call pumping the reel. So you've got your rod, it's playing, you like lift it and then wind down onto it a bit quicker, because it relieves a bit of pressure on the gearing to make the reel wind a bit easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
But when you get this one and you hook that 10-pounder, you can just wind.
Yeah.
The gearings inside them is so much better. And as I say, with rods, you can't tell a lot of difference. And I've got no qualms fishing with an £100 rod all day long. Yeah. Whether it's feeder fishing, float fishing, whatever. But the difference when it comes to reels, I would sooner pay more money for a reel.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think I always think with this is, you know, I'd buy, say for example, I was an angler who went fishing half a dozen times a year. You might want 3 rods set up when you go, so you could have 5 of them, couldn't you, for the same money?
Yeah, you can have 5 of them virtually for price of one of them. And listen, they will probably, if you only go pleasure fishing or fishing once a week, that'll probably last you 2 years, 3 years. Even carp fishing. Yeah. You could catch £200 of carp on that every Sunday at Allcroft in a match. Yeah. And it's going to last you 1 season, 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons. Whereas even if you only go match fishing once a week with that one and catch the same amount of fish, that could probably last you a lifetime. That's the only difference. And it's all in what you can't see on the reels.
So to sum up, we think there is a big difference in quality in terms of internal build quality, gears, gearing, and how long the materials last.
Yeah. But we have sold thousands of these in our shop over the last probably, I think they've been out about 7 to
7 or 8 years now,
yeah, they came out just as I started working for Wickersley Angling Centre, and I've been here now virtually 8 years. And I bet we haven't had 10 of them back in 8 years what have actually broken.
And you'll have sold a lot of them, wouldn't you? 100 plus we're talking, aren't we?
Oh, we're talking probably thousands.
Thousands.
Over 1,000. We are literally talking, we've sold thousands of them. Yeah. And we have only ever had back probably 10. Yes. As a value reel, that is as good as they get. Yeah. You can't get a better reel than that one. And as I said, they do it in 3 different sizes, so you can match your rod and your reel size-wise together. Yeah. Same as the tournaments. Yeah. But, and I tell you something else, Tom, I have got the tournaments myself. Yeah. They are mag sealed and all that, which I don't understand a lot of that at times because it's above my pay grade, which what actually mag sealing means. And mag sealing means basically it's got an oil inside them. All the system is sealed where the gears are.
It's from saltwater world, isn't it?
It's from the saltwater world, so the saltwater don't get in and rust the gearing and what have you. But basically, it's a real thin liquid oil what's inside there when it's inside that mag seal. Yeah. But as soon as you wind that handle, it like magnetates. It magnetizes to the gears and sticks to them like crystals. Yeah. And as soon as you stop winding, it just falls back like a jelly, like water. So when Dairy have actually got some, when they do the trade shows, they've actually got some little
demo
things with it on, and it's fascinating to see. And I wish we could get one of them for the shop, because that would be able to tell people more about the difference between reels. But just going back, I've got them reels at 250, 300 quid. Yeah. I actually think the line lay on the Ninja at $59.99 is a better line lay than that one, and I've tried everything with washers, changing washers and this, that and other, to get the line lay as good as that at $59.99, and I can't.
Right, it's mad, isn't it? Interesting.
But as a reel, they are fantastic, and that is what you're paying for, is everything in a reel what you can't see.
And you say that you use the tournaments yourself in your own fishing?
Yeah, I do use the tournaments in my own fishing, but there's no reason why you can't. You could use them all day long, and I'd be happy to use them all day long.